What's going on, teamers? Welcome to DigiPod, the digital podcast. I'm your boy Varney, today in the studio with my boys Mike and Dan. What's going on, boys?
What's up, guys?
What's going on, fellas?
Another day, another dollar. Hashtag $1 bill, y'all. You know what I mean?
Dollar bills, yo.
I do have to say it has been quite the last few days.
Eventful days. Yeah.
Quite the last few eventful days. Everything's looking up and bright on YouTube. There's a lot of engagement, a lot of people commenting, a lot of people watching, a lot of eyes on the podcast.
So I don't want to say that it's corresponding to me being back on the pod, but
Keep going. Let me hear the rest about the bullshit you about to speak.
No, because you think about it, right? I come back, we hit 1K subscribers, we get some.
We hit 1K without you. We could do it again.
I just want to let you know, Mike, just so I can pop your bubble. The most watched podcast as of right now would happen
Probably
to
East?
be. No, not the most watched. The most watched podcast would be the definitive BT16 Beginning Observer Meta tier list, which is a cop-out answer because it's a tier list.
It's a tier list.
I do also count. I also just want to mention that Gino was in that video. So
first of all, that does not count. That does not count.
The second most
I would like to
popular.
Say who has the most liked comment on that podcast? I believe that's Imperial Lover 69.
Surely
I wonder who that
not
is.
Imperial Fan 6969.
I don't know who that is, but he knew what he was talking about.
The second most popular podcast, or second most watched podcast, is The East Interview. And the third most watched podcast is BT16 First Thoughts, which starred only really Dan and myself.
Yeah, that one did really well.
Yeah.
I.e. hashtag Mike ain't shit. No, I'm kidding. Only slightly kidding.
Mike is irrelevant.
Yeah, we do. That's a good point. I got nothing.
This thing is a moving train on its own, Mike, with or without you.
Damn, you really gonna hit this man's in his feels like that?
Look. I'm back, baby. I'm back.
Yeah, you are.
We're ready. We're ripping and tearing.
We're ripping and tearing. So let's hop right into it. We're gonna talk about locals, Sunday locals. Mike, being the outcast from the group since you decided to move down to Virginia, please do tell, how was locals?
Again, so still trying to build the community down here. Glad you brought it up. So if there's anyone local to, 30 minutes away from Winchester, whatever you guys want to come help us build a community down at Gamer Oasis on Winchester on Loudon Street, bro. Hit me up, slide on my DMs, slide on my Discord DMs, hit us up on the Discord, whatever. Trying to build a community. It's been really fun. So far, it's been really just been me and my boy Nate holding it down, play testing with each other. But we want to get a community set up, so just let me know. It was good though. Got a lot of testing with Imperial.
Got your ass kicked with Imperial ?
No, I've never lost with Imperial so far. I did get my ass kicked. I was playing Omni's dude. He was playing Fenry, and I was just not having a good time when we played.
You're supposed to Vikemon ace him. Come on now.
I did actually. I did. Turns out when the board has like 15 bodies, it might not matter.
That's what Valgaze is for.
You gotta make sure you hit the Omni Mercy mode early, and then it just slows them down.
Yeah, that's how I beat them. That was a little rough for me, but yeah, shout out my boy Nate holding it down with me at the locals.
And
pass it off to. You didn't play this week, right, Varney?
No, I did not. I did not go down.
Sunday was
I'm the one out of the loop. Yeah, let's hear it, Dave. The real guy.
Father's Day.
Yeah, who the fuck's a father these days? Come on, man. That was crazy. My dad left when I was 4, and I don't regret anything.
So Dan, how was locals, Dan?
Because it was a holiday, not many people were there, so it was only 4 of us. 1, 2, 3, 4. It was a lovely 2-round tournament. Oh my god, that was depressing. I don't even remember what I played. I played something. Oh, I played is it here? No. I played Myotismon, that's what it was. I beat Rapid X dot deck, whatever it was. I think it was Rapid. I'm not sure if you really have a playset of Rapids, but it was Rapid X nonetheless. Myotismon was pretty cool, you know. You're able to kind of like loop combos. Like you just keep that. I think that's where the idea of that Mummy loop version came out, because of how much you can loop effects with the Tamer, with the Mummy Archenny, plus a Myotismon or whatever. And you just kind of keep cycling through and you get to where you need to go. And you're playing, you know, ultimates for level 3 for play cost 3, which is kind of crazy. And then you go into any level 6 that you have. Obviously, I'm playing Myotismon strictly for this version, at least for now. And it was pretty good. Being able to play my Mallow, especially the new one, for free, feels pretty strong. Because on your turn, you go swing, delete unsuspended. You delete one of your tamers to delete an unsuspended Digimon. If it doesn't delete, you delete a tamer instead. And you also trash on security. So, you know, you could do a lot of damage, a lot of board control stuff with it. When you pop out like 2 Mallows at once, Jesus, it feels kind of crazy. Just free level 6s is always fun to have. So that was happening. And then I played against Gino in the finals. He was playing Birds. Mallow versus Birds is terrible. Because they want to die, and then they get so many pluses off of dying. And it went to game 3, but like I realized off the rip that if I don't see the Archenny and Mummymon Tamer, I was gonna be in way too behind for that matchup, because I was too slow for it. And that's what happened with game 2 and 3. I did not see any of the tamers that I needed. Didn't even see Yukio. Didn't see Archenny and Mummymon in that matchup, so I was hard playing my low 5s for 6. Ukos was doing all right, but just wasn't getting me there at times. That tamer is super important. It's a must. Like, I think you mulligan for that tamer, honestly. That's how important it is for the deck. Yeah, I lost the Birds because, again, they like to get deleted. And if I don't delete, then they're gonna go into Phoenix X, and they still gonna get all the deletion effects. Just end of attack, you know what I'm saying? So it was like it was like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situations. And it was like, I'd rather just delete it and then see what happens after that, and hopefully I could deal with the outcome after that, so I don't have that body on board. Sometimes that didn't help though, so I ended up losing to Birds. Again, it's only, 2 rounds, nothing too crazy. It was more of a casual locals in the sense of like decks that were being played.
Damn, must have been nice. I came out to play nice wholesome Rapid X the one week, and somebody said I just wanted to test out Numemon. Yeah,
you still won, so what are you complaining about?
Through grit and teeth, baby, through grit and teeth.
Oh my god. I mean, you played Rapid X too. That's the better deck.
Just wanted to play my
and still loves the Myotismon,
which is pretty meta still, but oh no.
I know, right?
Oh, it's so sad.
It reminds me, so I registered for 2 of our knockout battles. If you guys don't know what knockout battles are, we have this thing called knockout battles. They're an offshoot, a derivative of the Tamers Battle League. Basically, you list up cards. You say, I don't know, random example because it's on my desk. Imperial Chase. It's like a $200 card. So 16-man tourney, something like, $12 entry. Everybody enters, and then once it fills up, you send the person your payment, and then a bracket goes up. It's single elimination, winner takes all type thing. So we run those we allow people to run those in our Discord. We run them ourselves. I registered for 2. I registered for one for training cards and another one for, I don't know. Oh, a Gallon Crimson mode. And, I was like, all right, cool. Like,
a third one that we have to play that we haven't played yet.
Yeah, we'll play it soon. Yeah. I registered for those. I sat down to played one with Plague Doctor and one with Gino. And I was like, what do I want to play? Do I want to be sweaty? And I was like, nah, I don't want to be sweaty. Like, I'm playing for money, in a way. So like, yeah, like I should be sweaty, but I was like, nah, like I don't need to be like ooh, yeah, like let's break out like the big boys like Numamon. I was like, no, I'm gonna play some nice wholesome Grace Novamon. Gino, unknowingly, like we didn't know what each other was playing, but Gino goes and pulls out Mirage. I see it when he flips the egg, and I was like, so this matchup was over before it started.
Yeah,
I would have expected you to play Magna.
Any deck that's playing against Mirage that isn't running some sort of like kill spell or bounce spell or something to just get rid of them.
That's not even the issue, Mike.
You need to pray that in your security, bro, there's a card that's like, get rid of this Digimon on the field.
I wish I was worried about that. I was just like, damn, I'm gonna Digivolve once and lose turn.
Oh yeah.
That's what the entire deck does.
Yeah.
I was like, God forbid I regress and pull off a search. Like, Mirage is about to steal so much memory from me, and he did. I want you to know that the only way I only ever beat Mirage is just having a mega death in my security. I can beat Mirage on the regular, just not with Grace Nova. Not while I regularly have a 16 card hand.
I mean, I'm the same way, bro. I get hit, like I almost deck myself out when I play Imperial sometimes, and I'm like, this is a rough.
Yeah. That was pretty rough. I was like, well, this matchup was over before it started. I regret my life decisions, and I should have just played Numamon like I was originally planning to. But okay, whatever. we took that one on the chin, all right? So then I played against Plague Doc, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep with Mirage, sorry. I was like, I'm going to keep with Grace Nova. There's no way I'm going to play a bad matchup twice in a row. Like, I'm not going to play.
Does Grace Nova have good matchups?
It does.
Plague Doctor or Sweaty? I don't know what you're thinking about that one.
It does have good matchups, but I was like, Mirage auto lose. Every other matchup, I should be able to at least try to win. Except Numamon, of course. So
every other matchup? I don't know.
I'm not saying like every other matchup, but like as long as I'm not playing against Mirage or Numamon, I'm good. I can try every other matchup.
Yeah, you could try.
I can try.
I'll give you that. You could try.
So game one, I open my hand, right? And I'm like, this doesn't give me a play beyond turn one. And it's not like, oh, well, like I could try to do this. No, it's like literally I Digivolve and Raising, Digivolve again. And if I don't draw into something, there is nothing in hand for me to do. Can't drop a tamer. I can't even drop the level 5 because I didn't have one. So I was like, we're going to mull. Well, I mulled into no rookies and no level 4. Well, no, I mulled into no rookies, didn't draw into them, no tamers.
We've been over this before, Varney. You don't mulligan the playable hand.
We'll get there.
That's a fact.
I pass. And I see him hatch a yellow egg, and I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, shit. All right, let's see how this goes. I don't know what I put. I put something on board, and I don't even think I put anything on board because like he went Patamon, and I was like, it's not even worth it because he's just gonna come up, Rapidmon, suspend, swing over. It's not worth it. I literally passed that game into existence. Okay, whatever. I lost game 1. Whatever. It is what it is. Game 2. I'm like, all right, this is playable. I have my rookie in hand. I go and I Digivolve and Raising. I drop a tamer. I'm all happy and everything. No, I didn't drop a tamer. I dropped, I think like a searcher or something. This motherfucker drops a Digimon Emperor on me. And I was like, why are you running Digimon Emperor? And you run, now I preface this with, I'm only saying this in jest, but I was like, how are you going to drop a Digimon Emperor on me and you run fucking Ukomons? I was like, how fucking dare you run Digimon Emperor against me? Of all decks, you're going to drop a Digimon Emperor on me, Grace Nova, and you're out here running Ukomons. Because he had 2 Ukomons, the BT16, with a Digimon Emperor. Yeah. And I was like,
I think that's a pretty viable play, actually.
All right. proceeds to go into something. I was like, you know what, bro, I'm Scoop, not even gonna try to finish this game out. So yeah, I was like, he was like, yeah, I didn't have Tyrant. I was like, you dirty motherfucker. He was like, you better not be playing Nuamon. I was like, while you sit here and drop Digimon Emperor on me, you dirty fuck. So that's how my locals went. I proceeded to try to play nice, wholesome Grace Nova, and I got smacked up by the meta. And it did make me understand why people feel frustrated with the meta. Because I was literally sitting there like, yeah, I'm really not having fun right now. I was like, if I had to like sit through this, I wouldn't play this format. So I get people's gripes. I definitely get people's gripes. But we'll talk about like
your first mistake was playing a jank deck versus someone who plays sweaty decks all the time.
I don't play against Plague Dog like that. So
I was thinking that you were going to be playing in a tournament.
His worst deck, quote unquote, that he plays is Machine Dramon. So
yeah, I don't play against Plague Dog like that. I know he's going to be fucking playing.
He plays all like regular like meta decks, and don't let him lie to you about the things he says.
I mean, I think Grace Nova is a good deck. That's why I was like, let me try it out. Like, I want to see how it goes. I just didn't expect to get my booty smacked up like that.
I think lots of decks are good decks, but the decks I think are good, I know aren't. We play a lot of bad, janky things together, Varney, and I always go, "This is a good deck." What do you mean? It's never a good deck, bro.
Hey, listen,
like Grace Nova is like
it.
It's
solid.
Here's the problem, right? Here's my issue. Every time I play Grace Nova, I can never. There's always one piece missing, and normally it's always my level 6. It's like I do all those shenanigans, and I can never find my level 6. And when I do find my level 6, it's never the Apollomon. I'm really about to run 4 Apollomon. I run a 3-3 split. I'm really about to run 4 Apollomon because I can never fucking find my Apollomon when I want it. Because that card is so good, and I can never fucking find it. It's so aggravating. But
yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a tough deck anyways because you need some.
It is.
That's a deck that needs pieces.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to play. Like, I have no qualms with playing it, especially playing it into meta. I was just like, damn, like this is what the meta is for this deck. Like, this is not the meta for this deck. I was like, I should have just played sweaty ass Numamon. So lessons were learned.
You play Numamon, just play Magna.
You don't know what I play, bitch.
All right.
I was like, I should have just played sweaty ass Numamon. I should have came out here to try to ruin people's days. So yeah, that's how that matchup went, or those matchups, I should say. I guess before we get into like any of those topics and stuff, let me just mention that for those of you who are watching this podcast on YouTube, we have these nice, cool counters that are available on digi-know.gg. They're these nice, cool, like power counters, keyword effects, timing, all sorts of stuff. One of the cool things is that these, like the security attack plus, they rotate so that you can choose what number you want based on the side. You don't need to carry on multiples. They won't be these colors. This is like just some misprints, but I listed those for sale. What's today? Today's Wednesday, the 19th. I listed them for sale yesterday. We got a nice amount of sales. So big shout out and appreciation to all of you who ordered. Your orders are printing, and I will be having them shipped out as soon as they are ready to be shipped out. But if you guys would like those, hop on over to digi.gg, check them out. You know, this podcast is sponsored by DigiGuard United. Your one-stop shop.
Bandai's not going to sponsor us.
Yeah, exactly. This podcast is sponsored by DGU, your one-stop shop for everything playmats, sleeves, counters, whatever other bullshit, clothes, deck boxes, and whatever other bullshit we come up with.
I've said a lot of things on this podcast, and none of them have been untruthful. All right, I'll just say it like that. You know, is the things I've said about Bandai were the lies. They aren't there. I'm just truthful. I think that if I was CEO of Bandai, I would appreciate how honest their consumers are.
I'm telling you, when we were at NatStan, we should have went up to those Bandai reps and be like, "You ever heard of DigiPod, the digital podcast? No, you should check us out."
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't even been like, check us out. I would have been like, yeah, they are some interesting guys.
Right? Gotta play
guys,
dumb.
They have a lot of takes.
Good,
Very
man.
insightful about the Digimon card game.
There are a couple of good guys. I think you should look into what they say and the rest of your content creator community while you're at it.
They always say the truth. They're truthful.
So with that all in mind, let's hop over to our poll results and Q&A. So last podcast, which was 2 podcasts ago for you guys, BT16 First Thoughts, I asked y'all, what cards would you like to see get hit in an ideal world? Did we talk about this? I feel like we talked about this actually. No, I did not. No, we didn't talk about this. Out of 30 votes, because we had multiple votes, out of 30 votes, most people want to see promo and or BT16 Ukomon get hit. I really feel like I might have mentioned this, but I could be wrong.
I think we did last podcast, but I don't know.
I feel like I remember going over this, but I guess we'll just do it again because why not?
For those that missed it, or maybe
for those that missed it,
or maybe
we're the ones that missed it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Most people want Ukomon to be banned or hit. 10 votes for that. 6 people said Heaven's Judgment. 5 people said BT14 Pada. 3 people said Magna X. 3 people said Numa X, and 3 people said Other. And then I asked, what cards do you think will be hit on the ban list after the recent regional results? Thanasis. Whatever. I'm just going with it at this point. Thanasis said, Emissary of Hope, this card is easily abusable and offers free Digivolutions. It has to be restricted alongside Ukomons to slow down the format. Walker said, Heavens/Ukos feels inevitable. Patamon is one I stand by. The value it generates in both memory gain plus further setup for Emissary plays is too good. Will only be strong with the new vaccine ends. Smitty the Pity said, I could honestly see Heavens, Emissary, and Promo Uko going to 1. I wouldn't be surprised if they hit Numa X based on the JP results and our results, but that would break my heart, LOL, because I love Numa. This feels like major deja vu. So if you guys are listening and like if you guys are listening and like we went over all this, I apologize, but it factors into what we're going to talk about today anyways. So not to worry, it will not be for nothing. Before I touch on anything here, I'll just talk about a couple comments that have come off of the recent podcast that got uploaded, which is so lovingly titled, Mom, Bandai is killing the Digimon card game again, which I have to say, I really do like the thumbnail that I made for that one. So in these comments, we got some really nice ones. Let's see. Mainly PKR7639 saying Edamon good lord, words are hard. EX5 Edamon should be choice restricted. It should not be used in any deck in any deck with ace cards or at least Valk Ace, but it should still be able to be used at 4 in the Suka Edamon deck. It's fair and fun in its own deck. Balake9154 said the speech from Adrian at the end hit hard. I feel the same way about Digimon that he did towards DBS or DBZ, Dragon Ball. I do love the franchise and card game, would love to see it continue for years. I'm just pessimistic like you guys, which is why I'm also done with card games after Digimon. And then he also said, Mike was unhinged this episode, and I'm here for it. It was so entertaining. Your podcast is A++. Keep up the good work. So first of all, we appreciate that. Fuck Mike though. Mike's a bitch.
Well, what can we say? I mean,
Mike really, was unhinged.
Fuck that Mike guy. I don't know what to say.
Fuck that Mike guy.
Fuck that Mike guy.
Adding into that, it's just so. I guess we'll just kind of like stem right into it, right? So, there was a comment somewhere that said, and I don't remember where it was, but maybe it was on the Facebook group that I saw it. That Bandai's not going to hit anything. Like to remember that Bandai doesn't hit cards based on our meta, they hit it based on the JP meta, which is very true. That's been the trend. So as much as Ukomon right now is a problem for us, Ukomon, Numamon. Numamon's not going to get hit because it's a problem for us. It would get hit because it's a problem for JP. And one of the big things to consider is that technically speaking, Numamon is not an issue for JP right now. I want to say air quote technically speaking, but like we always plug East. You know we love East here. The BT17 full meta report. You should look it up. In 613 games played, do you guys know what the number one deck of the format was?
You asking me?
Well, both of you. I know you know what it is.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like Ancient Guru?
It's Imperial.
It is Imperial.
And Imperial was number one.
It's not just like, like a couple wins. No. Imperial leads by 13 over Ancient Garurumon and by 16 over Numamon. That is how good Imperial is in BT17. And obviously, Agent Garuru was second. Numamon is then third. But like, that's like kind of crazy to think about, right? Because right now, at this very moment, English looks to be in a tier 0 format.
Or very, very close to it.
Or very, very close to a tier 0 format. And in a set, well, I can't say a set because EX6 is coming out in like a week.
Yep.
So I'd say in like a month's time, it doesn't seem like we're going to be in this tier 0 format. And so with that in mind, like, where does that leave us? So first of all, it's a good thing that this format was basically 2 tournaments, both of which already happened, and is what seemingly put us in this close to tier 0 format. And we're going into EX6. And I don't remember exactly how many tournaments there are in EX6 format. I want to say there's another 2 because Gen Con is in August. And I believe that BT17 should be out by the time Gen Con hits. If it's not, then the Gen Con tournaments will be EX6.
I think it's August, right? Comes out.
It is. I just don't remember exactly what day, what week BT17 drops for the English meta. So as I'm looking it up right now, it is August 9th. And I want to say Gen Con is the very first week of August. So if that holds true, then they're going to be in EX6 format for Gen Con. And so we're going to have quite a couple tournaments that might just turn out the same, but it's weird, right? Like over here in English, people love certain decks, we got Mastamon coming out. We've got, I'm not even going to count Ragna. As much as like I love Ragna, I feel like not as many people love Ragna as like people love Mastamon. And as much as people love 7 Great Demon Lords, as much as they're going to love even like Angels as a deck.
I'm going to be honest. I almost completely forgot that we were getting new Ragna support.
Right.
Wow. Yeah.
My point exactly.
Yeah. That's crazy. I literally saw that spoiler, I think today or yesterday for English. Like, for, like the English group does the EX6. I saw that and I was like, huh. That's a card. Yeah. And then I forgot. And then I remembered right when you said it again. That's how.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like that's what it's like. So I just pulled up the regionals that we're having. So in July, there's an online regional, there's an in-person regional, and then there's the Gen Con events.
And don't forget, we have the 8.
We have Ulti Cups coming up too, right?
And we have the 8 store regionals in July.
Oh yeah, there's the store regionals in July. Yeah. And yes, then there's like a couple Ulti Cups.
Are they all in July though? I know the one in Virginia is in July, but I don't know.
Yeah, they're all in July. Okay. They are the July store regionals, as they are so known.
Yep.
So we have a good amount of events, way more than the 2 that we have currently for just BT16. So there's quite a few events that are going to be happening for the combined BT16 EX6 format. But one of the biggest questions is going to be, how many people are going to be playing the Sweat and how many people are going to be playing the new toys? And because I feel like Digimon has like a good balance of them both. Like definitely there's going to be a lot of people sweating, trying to get and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but a lot of people sweating, trying to get invites, trying to get serial omnis and such. But then you're also going to have people who, I finally get to play Mastimon. I'm playing Mastimon, and I finally get to play, 7 Great Demon Lords as a deck. Like, I'm playing that. Diaboromon, that's another deck that is playable come EX6. You can play Alliance as a deck, because that is viable come EX6. Like, how many people are going to split off and play other decks to playing the sweaty decks?
So it's tough to say.
Right.
So I made the wrong assumption in this format, where I thought that more people were going to be playing the newer decks in BT16, like Tyrant, Magna X, Vaccine Armor, Imperial, etc. I thought that a good amount of people were still going to play Numemon, but I severely underestimated the amount of people that were going to play Numemon in this format. And I don't know if it's because it's a shorter format that people didn't even feel like experimenting with new decks, but I made the wrong call, and I was like, oh, people are going to want to play the newer decks because we only have this format for a short amount of time. And I don't really think that that's been the case. I don't have all the numbers for every decks that have entered regionals, but just from seeing how many tops there's been for Numemon, it's pretty crazy. I don't know. I think that English players are weird, and we're in a weird place right now where Japan gets cards, they get decks, they figure out the deck. We can obviously view Japan deck lists. We know what's winning, right? So when the cards get to English finally, we don't have to really theory craft or come up with different ideas for decks usually. We might make like 1 or 2 different meta choices or meta calls, but we pretty much we see what Japan's doing and we go, we're going to copy that exact list and put it right into our format. So we already know like the winning formula essentially.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not sure how many people are going to stray away from playing so 7 Great Demon Lords, that's like going to be a fan favorite deck in my opinion.
Right.
That's,
like
people are very excited for that, right?
That's not just a fan favorite deck. That's a
good
tier.
Deck.
That's a tier. That's a meta deck.
Forget about that, right? Though. That's not the point.
But is it better than Numemon right now?
No.
Is it better? No.
Exactly. And so that's.
But it has a decent. I don't know. I don't know how decent it is.
That's what I'm saying. It's not that it's a bad deck. It's a really good deck. But is it better than Numemon right now? And I don't think so. And I think that English players, you're gonna have people that are gonna want to play new decks like me. Like I have my favorite deck of all time is Imperial. I'm never not gonna play Imperial in a format where Imperial is viable, even if it's not the best deck ever. I don't care. I'm never gonna not play it, right? But you have people that want to top, they want to win. They're gonna play just the best deck that there is.
Yes, of course.
So I don't know if we're gonna see the numbers really drop from that. Is what I'm trying to get at.
No, I agree, and that's like the biggest issue, I'd say, going into EX6, because I remember watching East's EX6 meta reports, and he was literally like, "These decks aren't bad, and 7 Great Demon Lords is good, but it's not like winning because it's like the new like overpowered deck or anything. It's just that there's a lot of people playing it." So like that's like the question going into this EX6 format. It's like, how many people are going to be playing Numemon still because it's Numemon, compared to how many people are going to be playing decks that they like, decks that they want to play.
I also want to say, I feel like we're also so for me, I'm not really like the biggest Numemon fan. I think they're cool. Like I had a lot more fun with the Sukamon deck. Like I like Sukamon more than I like Numemon.
Same.
But I think we're also like, a lot of people really enjoyed playing Numemon, and they actually really like Numemon as a Digimon too.
That's a dirty lie.
I see it on the Facebook group all the time.
Dan likes Numemon, but we already knew that because Dan likes Edamon, Numemon, Sukamon. They're all in the same bubble.
But there are a lot of people like Dan who play this card.
They're fucking liars. I swear on my life. I'm calling it now. Anybody who's playing Numemon because they're like, oh yeah, I love these little slimes. You're a dirty fucking liar. You know, I know you're a liar. You're a dirty liar. Because where were you? Where were you during BT14? I didn't see you playing Numemon then. You had Satsuki. You didn't do shit with it. I don't want to hear it. You're a dirty liar. You're dirty, dirty lie. I want to hear that shit. You had RB1 with the Monzemon. You had the Shin Monzemon. You had the Armor Purge Monzemon. Y'all weren't playing it. You didn't like Numamon.
They were hard to come by, man.
You didn't like. They were 50 cents. They were. You didn't like Numamon. I'm watching you. You're all liars.
So I was saying, I guess, in defense of those Numamon players that say they like it. The cool thing about the Numamon deck, I think, is that it's so toolboxy, where you can make it a little bit more personal than like other decks that are like tier 1 type decks. Usually like the non-tier, usually like decks that you can like, you know, make your own aren't necessarily like tier 1 decks like Machine Digimon, for example. It's a very personal choice type of deck. I think Royal Knights is also in that same vein, that sense of like, you got your certain cards you know you got to play, but like the ratios or whatever, and you see a lot of tech cards that people like throw into those type of decks. What else I would say? I would even consider Greymon in that aspect, whereas like you could do a lot of personal choices with it because of how versatile Greymon is on the variety of stuff you could throw into it, because there's so many cards. Like, why not? And it's not even like a tier 1 deck anymore.
Greymon toolbox, baby.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So that's the thing. So now we have this deck in Numamon where you're not guaranteed, you don't have to play anything outside of your 12 Numamon, your Monzemon, your Monzi X, and everything else is up for grabs, really. Obviously, you want to win, so you want to run the 8 Ukos. And then outside of that, for your rookie lineup, you could do whatever you want, right? You could go purple base. A lot of people like the purple base, especially in BT14. I've always thought the black bases was better for, especially in a format where Digimon Emperor is prevalent.
I think we're seeing that now more too. Actually.
Yeah, 100% we are. Yeah. It's like dominating black base. I think there was like one purple base that topped, I think, within the 3 tournaments we had. If you want, like I said, if you wanted to, we even saw one time a red base version, right, with the red coral LSU. When you check a security, you draw one, and red has access to a lot of floodgates as well. We saw that, right? And then if you're black, you can go anywhere from like the Agumon that has a starter main gain in memory, Algo X package. You just go straight floodgates with Chumon, Chikurimon. You could do a lot of different things with low end, and then on top end, you could do whatever hell you want. That's yellow or black, right? For a while we saw, pre BT16, anywhere between Plat, Shinmonzi, Venusmon. We saw Azulomon as well as a card. We saw obviously in the 7s, Rumo, Dex,
all of them.
Zortifi. We saw all these variety of different type of top ends, and I think that's what a lot of people got drawn into. Plus, you're super low to the ground for most time. You just attack as fast as possible. You go into Monzemon, you go into Monzi X, you board swarm while you're also deleting your opponent's stuff because it's neg DP, and there's not much that stops neg DP in the game while you're at it. And then you could go Monzi X, swing 2 checks, have jamming with Satsuki. You're not even worried about it, and then you're set up for a Zulon play back then. And now now in BT16, you have access to Volk Ace. If you want to get real spicy, you can throw in Vike Ace as well if you want to. But obviously, Volk Ace is just a mini rumor mode, so you're gonna go into that. And now we're seeing, a lot of decks are replacing the War Monzemon, which again is still a very good card. Don't get me wrong when I say it's not a good card. It's a good card. It's just Edamon is a thing. You know what I'm saying? You're running the Edamon to go Edamon combo with Volk, force attack, go into Volk Ace, blow up their board, and just be like, what you gonna do now? Because that Volk Ace now is gonna be potentially swinging either 2 checks next turn or 3 checks next turn. And then whatever else you're swarming with them, right? I think that's why a lot of people gravitate to it, because of that like variety you're able to have. Obviously, we're at a point where like the deck is like, this is the best version you get to do with this. Like, don't even bother changing it, just copy and paste it. And if you're a good pilot, you can do well with it. That's just the unfortunate part we're at, which is good or bad, depending on how you take it. It's kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day. Not Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day, still is. You kind of just copy and paste the top tier version of the deck, and you say play this, and if you're good, you win. If you're not good, you know that you're not there at that moment.
I agree. Hearing what you're saying, you know, people who enjoy, it's not that they're enjoying Numemon, they enjoy the toolboxiness. I can agree with that. I can understand that. We haven't had many decks like that, and I think it's a great deck for those who don't want to be like bound by the confines of like the archetypes. So it's like, all right, like, okay, I get it. But so with that all in mind, right, it's like, as we head into, for us, we're heading in the EX6. It's a big question mark in the air. It's like how the meta is going to turn out. Numemon doesn't get worse, and if anything, it gets better because there's just more aces that they can run, and there's just more dumb shit that they can do. The bigger question is, right, like, how much do the other decks actually stack up to them? Because Japan's EX6 format was very short and very much full of like new toy syndrome, so to say. So, like, how does that change for us, if at all? And even if it doesn't change, Numemon is not on top in BT17. It is
that we know.
That might change for us though.
We don't, because it was.
All right,
Numemon,
let me rephrase.
And BT16 and EX6, Numemon wasn't in top for JP. I mean, it was a top deck, but it wasn't the one that had the most wins still.
Well, also because that was the start of Numemon being a top deck, because Numemon was irrelevant 16? Numemon was irrelevant in BT15 because of APOC correct. And whatever.
Yes.
All that stuff got hit. And then in BT16, BT6 Nats happened. And that's when we saw, and I think and then Nats was, I think, halfway through BT16, I think.
But I
don't quote me, I'm right, I'm wrong. And so that's when you saw it like popping up more. And then I think people were still not believers even back then. In like the JP side, because they're like, Numemon, like, what the hell does this do?
These little slimes.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's how a lot of people were thinking about the deck. Even like Varney was, you know, I was like, yo, BT15, the deck is still a legit deck, even without the stuff in 16. And Varney's looking at me like sideways, like, bro, this ain't shit. Like, you know, until BT16, and then I think 16, like I said, I think it was different for them because it was like last half of it was like more Numemon. So like it didn't see as much wins. And then 17 happened. JP's very new toy syndrome, plus Ancient Guru, plus what's it called? No, Ancient Guru was BT18, right? Or was Ancient Guru in 17? Was it in 17? Obviously Imperial with the new, obviously Imperial because they got the most busted card in the game, probably at that point, ace wise at least. In not
just the ace card, it's that
the movie option.
It's the movie option.
The movie option that gives you the protection. So like, you know, that happens. But
let's just
the thing about Numemon is though that here's the other thing.
Go ahead.
JP did not tech the Edamon tech.
Not till later. They started doing it in BT17. They started doing it. But
right,
and like, that's what I mean. Like, we look at JP lists, bro, and we go, oh, that's like because we can see so far into the future. So like, by the time they started teching Edamon in, we knew already.
But you even, because we were talking about it, you were like, I don't think I've seen it that much often. That, and I was like, bro, it's a thing. And well, the thing about that, like Imperial,
BT16, it wasn't a thing, but in 17,
like the Imperial matchup, right, with the Edamon stuff, if you Edamon their Pyojimon, it's GG. And that I've played that matchup quite a bit now, and I'm just like, I don't care about what you're going to do. Suspend my board, make them be able to, all right, cool, you swing a Pyojimon, sucks to suck, Bulk Bomb, kill your board.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's going to change necessarily into BT17, because like you have to kind of do things with Pyojimon. You can't just sit there and not do anything, because then you kind of lose out on your own stuff, I feel like. Even if you go to Dragon mode, all right, cool, no problem. I'll still Volk Ace you anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's a little... I don't know when it comes to BT17, because obviously we're not there yet. But like in current version, like it's hard for Imperial to deal with it.
So let's derail real quick. Let's explain why.
So the
BT.
Reason, so the reason in BT17 I think that Imperial can deal with Numemon better is because of the movie card.
Yes.
Because
Right.
even if you Valk Ace the Pyogemon, the movie card will still go off for them because
Yes.
it goes by when would be deleted. So you reduce the Pyogemon to 0 DP, then it can just Digivolve into the it can just Digivolve into an Imperialmon after that, which means that it won't die. Like,
As long as the DP neg is not like over the 12k, you're saying?
yes,
Because it will still die.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the other thing to
But-
consider
but
is that you're only
Valk
doing a
Ace
neg 5, which doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Because it's
well,
a neg 5 pop, but the pop
Well, if
is
you
what's
go-
going to trigger the return to ancestors.
Stop. You got neg 3k from Edamon and potentially something else. Plus you go
Oh,
Volk.
well, the Edamon
Like, that's what I'm
is-
saying. Like, if you're within the threshold of the dragon mode, like that's fine. You're gonna stay alive. But if you add on top of it neg 3k, maybe another neg 3k from Monziamon or something else, and you
I
go
would-
Volk, you know what I'm saying?
I would need to get a clarification on this because I actually saw a ruling that a Digimon can hit 0 DP in the midst of an effect, but rules processing doesn't check until the end of an effect. So there's a way that you can essentially hit 0 DP and then stay alive because you either gain DP or you Digivolve. So with Return to the Ancestors, if you get the neg 3 and then you get a neg 5 from the Valk, this triggers when it would be deleted. Because it hits 0 DP, I guess. If I were to rule that, I would say it hits 0 DP and it dies. But you know that ruling that I heard changes things. So I would have to clarify that.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know how that particular interaction. So if any of you listening knows how that interaction between EX5 Edamon, Valk, and Return to the Ancestors works with a Pyogemon on board, let us know. I feel like because the DP neg amounts to 0, rules processing deletes it. Even though you Digivolve, it still hits 0 at some point. Because this is when it would be deleted. But that's the problem, right? It's when this Digimon would be deleted. So rules processing, but when this Digimon would be deleted. How does that
Right.
interact? So if one of you guys know, let us know. Because
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
That is
well. Then you
something.
also have. Well, I guess it. I don't know. You would need to break this down for me because Valk also deletes something.
Yeah, but if you
So-
get neg 3
so what
plus
would
neg
happen-
5,
well, here's what would happen.
Pyoge's 8, right? Pyoge's
Pyoge's
8.
So it would
Yeah,
get
it
deleted,
dies.
but then it could Digivolve into the Dragon mode because it would be deleted, right?
So,
Right.
well,
But
that's the
then when
problem.
That's what Varney was trying to figure
Would
out
it
just now.
Digivolve because it
Yeah.
hit 0 DP and it's being deleted by rules processing.
Yeah, I don't know.
So because it's hitting the rule processing checkpoint at 0 DP, even though you should be able to Digivolve, because you hit 0 DP, do you stay alive? But there's
I don't
easy
know.
ways to get around it. It's called running the Demi Vmon egg.
Yeah, of course, you run the 1K boost.
The Demi V,
Sure,
you
yeah.
have the BT16 Vmon. There are
Yeah.
definitely ways to get around that.
I mean, the issue with that, anyways, is that even if that. So here's the thing, right? Even if that happens, you get reduced to 0. Even if it does Digivolve, the Dragon mode still is going to get deleted off of the Valkyrie Mons effect, anyways, once it actually checks the security.
Correct.
So it doesn't really. I guess in that specific situation,
no, not necessarily.
you don't think
Because
so?
remember, you
You
don't
mean?
need to Digivolve into the Dragon mode. You can Digivolve into it's
You can
Imperial
Digivolve
Digimon in
into a
its
fighter
name.
mode.
You can go
but-
into a fighter mode.
Yeah, but in that exact scenario we were talking about, it Digivolve.
In
into
that,
the
yes,
Dragon
but you can very
Yeah.
well
You can go
take your
into a
ass
fighter
into a
mode and
fighter
bounce
mode
the
and bounce
Valk,
that back to hand, and then you
Sure.
negate that entire issue to begin with.
Yeah, which is what. Well, you bounce back to hand, buddy. You read with fighter mode.
Oh, sorry. Is it bottom deck? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But so this BT17. It's not just this one. It's most of the movie options, and I say most because some of them are lackluster. But the Imperial option is insane. So it's a 2 cost, lets you Digivolve your level 5 or higher free into, or one of your. It lets you. Let me rephrase. One of your Digimon may Digivolve into a level 5 or higher free trait in your hand, reducing cost by 4. So You could just straight Digivolve into like a Pyodramon, like if you wanted to for whatever reason, but generally you're using this to go into a dragon mode, and then you place this card in your battle area. And then when one of your free trait would be deleted, you Digivolve into another Imperial Dramon to prevent that deletion. So if you're at level 6 and you would be deleted, you can either go into a fighter mode, prevent the deletion, or even more busted, you can go into a paladin mode and prevent that deletion. And paladin mode, well, first of all, free level 7s, because you don't pay the cost, right? It's just
you don't pay the cost. Yeah,
No,
yeah, you don't pay the cost,
Return to
which is
Ancestors doesn't pay the cost.
which is bonkers for a 2-cost option. You're Digivolving into a level 7 for free. Now, granted, it is an ace card, but it's a level 7 that is literally board wrecking because it's trashing all source and then bottom decking all cards from either your trash or your opponent's trash, which is like stupid, especially for the likes of Numamon. You're just like, haha, on deletions, huh? All right, well, trash your source and take those same sources and put them to the bottom of your deck.
for sure. Like basically, Numamon needs to win before that even happens.
Right. And so like the moment that they like attempt to pop a level 6 Imperial, the Paladin mode ace just says, hi, it's me. Your trash, it's out of here. I've come to take out the trash, literally speaking. So like I'm not saying
I forgot about that option.
I said that
option's the most busted part about that deck.
It really is. It's so good for that deck. I said that Numamon. Hold on. Let me just say it before I forget it. I said that Numamon wasn't the top deck. I don't mean it in the way that like Numamon's no longer a problem, yada yada. I just mean that Imperial is so good, especially into the Numamon matchup, that like there's a deck now to check Numamon, right? And so the question is, what does Bandai hit if Numamon is not the best deck in the format, so to say, right? But go ahead, Mike.
So I don't really know, because in Japan format, at least, JP, the way they build Imperial is really weird. It's like 2 to 3 Return to Ancestors, and then it's usually only 1 Paladin mode ace.
Really?
Yeah.
I would play like 2, if not 3 of that card.
Yeah, we had this discussion in our Big East chat one time, because I was like, yeah, Japan only plays it at 1. Like, that's like sometimes, like every once in a while you see a deck list running 2, but most times it's at 1, which is like crazy to me, because you'd think they'd want to play it at
I
more.
want 2.
But for me, even like, I don't know, it's because like honestly that deck does draw a lot. Like I ain't gonna lie, like
that's fair.
I only play 2 fighter mode ace. Like
that's a good point.
And like most people only play 2 fighter mode ace, so it doesn't really surprise me that it's only at 1. But it's like, sheesh, that card's crazy. But that's also why like I hate when people are like, oh, we need to limit these cards. A lot of these good decks like can just skirt by playing one of the busted cards. I don't know, like if you hit Numamon and then Imperial really becomes a problem, do you hit Davis and Kenda one?
Probably.
You hit Davis and Kenda one, right? Or do you?
That's how I feel, right? Like, because that's what enables that deck to be, to get to your main topic. That's what enables that deck to be fast.
Enables it to be really fast. It's also just the trashing sources when your DNA is crazy.
That's definitely a big thing too, yeah.
For sure. Dodges Digimon that say immune to Digimon effects.
But I would say it's allowing you, the fact that it allows you to pull off a DNA play as long as you have a Digimon in raising is really good. Because
you can pull off a DNA play as long as you have that like that on the field.
Yeah.
And a blue, like you have the promo Vmon that lets you reduce cost by 1. If you have nothing else in the field that turn except for the Davis and Ken, you can DNA that turn and gain your memory back.
But you need like a Digimon, right? Like you need one Digimon to tamer, right?
As long as you have like a rookie that has the end of turn DNA, you just go to that Evo and then hard drop the other one. You DNA, you pop off, go Davis can potentially keep turn or whatever. Like you do a lot of things with it.
So in BT17, they stopped playing the Invincible Insect Fury option, But if like
of course.
in this format, you still play it. Like some people still play it, some people don't. I play it right now. I like it sometimes. I hate it on others.
Solid card.
But like if you have if you have 2 memory and you have nothing else in the field besides Davis and Ken, you can just play the promo Vmon from the Davis and Ken, Digivolve for 1, you go to 1 memory, and then play the option to slam another. Like you can DNA that turn off of having nothing on the field besides Davis and Ken. Because you'll gain 1 memory
17.
You gain 1 memory from Davis and Ken.
No, in current game.
Current game.
And
Okay.
in BT16, current game. There's so many games where my board was just wiped, and I'm like, they think that they won this game, and they didn't.
Because of Davis and Ken.
Because of Davis and Ken.
You're going to play the BT12, XV, and Stigmine. If you have one of those, plus the Davis and Ken, email what he just said. That means your opponent's at 2. You DNA, affect the Davis Ken, gain a memory, affect like at least one of the XV or Stigmons, gain another memory. So you're at 0 and you can still pop off and continue doing like your swings and stuff.
You either need the option that
I swear to
DNA.
God, I don't play Imperial, but I know their fucking combos so fucking well. Even in the current game, I'm just like, I guess I played enough now. I'm just like, I know what's gonna happen. And especially like I was playing with Tyrant I think one time, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna give them 2 memory. This is their play they're gonna do. They're gonna do A, B, C, D. I'm just like, I'm still F no matter what. I was like trying to like map out every fucking play they could have done. Where I was playing like a Tyrant because Tyrant is hard because like they can source strip you, and if you don't have Izzy's, you're kind of struggling because of the Davis Ken. So I was like mapping out. I was like, yo, there's just no way I can't get around of a Pyuchimon happening no matter what. I was like, F it, here's 2 memory. And I watched it just go combo off and just pop off with it. I'm just like, ugh. And it was the same thing when I was doing Numon one time. The guy was like, what are you doing? I was like, I know all your plays already, and I just need to clarify which way I can get around this so I don't die. And he was like, bro, it's not that serious. I don't got nothing. I was like, I don't care. You could draw into it because that's how goddamn Imperial works.
All it takes is one card.
One goddamn card. You know what I'm saying?
Like, and that's real though. And like I said, like Varney, like if you have a way to force the DNA at the end of your turn, whether it's from the option that makes you DNA when you play the Stingmon or XVmon, or whether it's from an end of turn Vmon or Wormmon, you will DNA one way or another in that deck.
100%.
So, some people don't play the option; they still just play Hammer Sparks, bro. They instead of playing the like, and I honestly kind of agree because sometimes like the biggest problem with that option is that you need the Davis and Ken because it's fucking dual colored and it doesn't skip color requirements.
Gotcha.
Like if that option skipped color requirements by having like a Vmon or something on the field, bro. That option would be so much better, bro. There's so many times where I'm like, the reason that this option is useless to me is because I don't have the fucking Davis and Ken. If I had the Davis and Ken, I wouldn't even play this fucking option right now. It's just, yeah. But anyways, I feel like we talk about Imperial a lot. It's not my fault.
I just want to say,
totally your fault.
There's a, I feel like we could like go on for days about this. Protection effects, immunity effects. I just want to add a quick note in pod and say, like, somebody said on Reddit that effects like Magna X is what's going to ruin this game and turn it into Yu-Gi-Oh! And I commented and I said I disagree, because we have so many effects that interact with your board, and they deal with your board. And go ahead, Mike.
So for me, protection effects are simultaneously the best thing that ever happened to Digimon and the worst thing that ever happened to Digimon, because it was so needed. Like there was a point in BT9 when we first got the protection effects, and they were needed effects, right?
Yeah.
But because they were needed, it forced the game into this power creep cycle that we're at right now.
Right.
So like it's really
one
weird.
brings about. It's not just the protection though; it's removal too. Like
yes,
one of those brings about the other. Like we are past the age of. We got to that point in like BT5 because sure, Lord Knight didn't have a removal effect, but that entire deck's game plan was predicated on disassembling your board, and that was all the way back in BT5. Red Omni was literally get into Omni, pop your board. maybe not pop your board, but that was a time at Digimon where you were lucky to have more than one Digimon, two Digimon on the field. So get into Omnimon, pop your stack. And that's been since the inception of the game. Like, protection effects,
counterbalances that always happens in the game.
Exactly.
That's always going to happen in everything.
Protection effects bring about removal effects, but removal effects bring about protection effects. Because Dan, like, when Dan said this, I was like, wow, I didn't even think of that. Tyrant should be like a fantastic deck, but its weakness is that it's unaffected by your opponent's Digimon effects. Forget about the fact that it has to be suspended. And forget about option effects. Davis and Ken affects it. And that's a big thing, because there is
Cody could go
no way to
Digivolve.
There is no way to play around the tamer effects, because we don't have, this Digimon isn't affected by tamer effects. I'm not saying that we necessarily should. What I'm saying is there are so many effects that interact with different things that immunity is a good thing. And be glad, and I am truly saying this, be glad that Magna X isn't just Mother D on the field. It's not just when this Digimon comes into play, this Digimon is unaffected. No, it's when it digivolves, it's unaffected. Sure, you can renew the protection, but you have to renew the protection by removing a security. And that's where the argument of, Blinding Ray and TK and things that remove your own security become unfair cards, because it allows you to circumvent what the intended design of the card was.
Yeah. I think they're
needed effects.
No, they are needed. And I think my biggest problem with like decks like Magna, and honestly, I don't really care about Magna this format as much as I thought I was gonna, because Numemon became the big bad that we all, I feel like, collectively hate now. But like my thing with Magna is like, it's such a good card. Obviously, we've talked about it on the pod so many times. I don't want to beat the dead horse, but like having that like omni protection from everything, Digimon options, everything, it's just unaffected, right? Having that and then being able to play the best removal cards.
Yeah.
Like ding is the issue. But again, I don't really have a problem with Magna right now, because it's just
and here's other people's reasons.
So do many people.
Magna's
apparently
problem, right, is that because Magna is such a gatekeeper deck, that the reason that Numemon is so dominant is because Numon's the only deck that can consistently deal with a Magna X stack. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think even if Magna X wasn't in this format, let's say Magna X didn't exist for some reason, Numemon to me will still be top dog, will still be quote unquote close to tier 0 deck, because there's no other deck in this game that's as fast as it, or that can do what it does on a consistent basis. They were saying, what's the decks that stops Numemon that they're complaining about? I think it was Red Hybrid one time. Like Red Hybrid, it's not going to be doing, it's not as fast as Numemon, especially now current Numemon. No way. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a hard point to say that the reason why Numemon's so good is because of Magna. I think because Numemon is so good is the reason why Magna is not as dominant. And I think I would prefer that way, honestly, that Magna is not the most dominant thing. I don't know. It's a weird ass situation we're in this format, even though it's going to be done in a couple weeks, this format. But like, I think even EX6, we're still going to be seeing the same thing where Numemon is top dog and everything else is second.
I'm with you.
Mike, hold on, Mike. Hold on. Yeah. You said something that, I have to agree with so much. You remember when I did this, because you were like, LOL, feels bad or some shit like that. Remember when I texted, I hate Heaven's Judgment?
Yeah.
Do you know what had just happened to me? I was struggling. I was fighting for my life with Grace Nova, okay? And I left a level 5 on board with a Phyramon. It doesn't matter what it was. It was below 6K. And I was like, because he had a Magna X on board. And I was like, I can't swing, because obviously he'll block. Right. So I was like, I can't swing. He also doesn't have a Patamon in Raising. So as long as he doesn't have the Heavens, I'm good. Of fucking course he had the Heavens. But I was literally like, damn, Magna X is on board. I can't touch the Magna X. and he just played Heavens. I think it was actually, as I texted you that, I think I literally scooped that turn because I was like, there's no, like he Digivolved the Pattern Raising. I was like, there's no way I can deal with a second one. You have the Heavens in hand. There's no way that I can come back because you just wiped my board because -6, and then -6 again. And then you had an extra -6 in case there was an extra body to delete. Like, I hear a lot of people talk about Heaven shouldn't be banned because it's the only card that can deal with yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Listen, Leppy has not changed my mind on Heavens, but he has changed my mind on strong option cards. And I agree. We do need stronger option cards, and we're getting there. I will say it feels like we're getting there, where option cards are actually worth running. That being said, I feel like Heavens is just degenerate with 3-color Digimon. Like Nike 24, it's so demoralizing. I was like,
I just don't feel that Magna is not that it's that strong. It's still a tier 1 deck, don't get me wrong, but like if you take out Heavens from that, you don't have that instant thrill of being like, oh, you know what, my whole board that I just built that took 2 turns, I was waiting for Magna to not have that protection.
Yeah.
And now it's gone because he have his judgment. So what, he put me at 4. It doesn't matter.
Do you know what he did to me? You know what this fucking Plague Doc did to me? He had a fucking Ukomon out. That was his only Digimon.
And he still fucking dropped the Heavens on me. Oh my God.
And I was like,
toxic.
Of course, at that point, you know, it's the same as a Wyverns, but it's a Nike 6 and a Nike 6.
No, it's 12. Was it Wyvern 15?
Yeah, that's not what I mean. It's a Nike 15 on one Digimon compared to a Nike 6 that can be on 2 different Digimon.
Yeah.
And I was still like,
so
and that's
what
also
the
like,
fuck do I do?
The other options is like, to me, it's more fair. Like, all right, if you're gonna play a Wyverns, I don't mind you playing Wyverns for 15k for 8 cost, not a problem. I don't even mind you having to play Lonky because that means you have to have either or effect or you need to be at 3 to get both effects. You know, neck 12 and place the Digimon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to play, I don't know, anything else that's a yellow option that kills, not a problem. But the problem is Heaven's Judgment is able to do what it does. And that facilitates Magna X to be a stronger deck, in my opinion, because I don't even know why you wouldn't run at 4, right? You run at, you know, I think they're anywhere between 2 to 4, right?
2 to 3,
that's what
generally.
I see. 2 to 3 usually. And then you just go, you know, play other options that's super strong too. I think I would rather see someone go Fire Rocket on it. Swing 3 checks on spend, swing 3 checks. You know, I think I would rather prefer to see that than someone doing a Heaven's Judgment on me. You know what I'm saying?
DG Dimension. I'll let you go in just a sec, Mike. DG Dimension is a card. Digivolve 1 and 3 your opponent's Digimon, and then delete 3 play cost 6 or less. But like, you could Digivolve a level 6 into a level 5 and not pop the level 5. You could Digivolve a level 5 into a 4, and sure, you can pop the level 4 in another body. But then like you're playing against a black deck, so you're like, okay, like I can kind of play around this, but like when it comes to Heavens and 3-color Digimon, you do not play around -24. There is no world. Once that Magna X hits board, -24 is live. And that is just insane.
That's a crazy thought about it, yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, Mike.
The other option cards that I think that are like really strong, and like so this format we're seeing a lot of people in Imperial play Giga Death. And Giga Death will wipe a whole board, right?
But it's conditional.
But here's the thing about Giga Death is you only get to suspend 1 Digimon, and everything else has to already be suspended. Also, it costs fucking 9. And I understand, like, you're like, well, Heaven's Judgment costs 7. Bro, that 2 memory fucking matters.
It
like,
really does.
Making someone pay 9 memory for an option or making someone pay 7 memory for an option that wipes an entire board is important. And I'm not, obviously not every time you play Heaven's Judgment is it going to wipe an entire board, because sometimes you're going to have to apply the -6k like twice or 3 times to 1 Digimon. But the fact that it has the ability to do that is insane. Like, I'm trying to think of other option cards that feel like total wipeouts. Like, only things I can really think of is like, obviously getting like Hades Force when you're playing like a Hunter's deck, or like
DG Dimension, but like
old school fucking ultimate flare someone. Yeah, bro. Like Heaven's Judgment is by far just the absolute best removal option we have in the game.
It's a good, strong removal option, but I stand by the point that it really, really feels unfair and, honest to God, it's just so demoralizing. Like, even when I played against Dan, like back when 16 first dropped and he was playing Tyrant, I was playing Magna, I looked at his board and I looked at the heavens in my hand and I was like, I'm so fucking sorry that I'm about to do this, because I felt that. Like, I saw what he went through to establish that board and I was like, I'm sorry that my one Digimon is about to allow me to take out your entire board.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, if it was like that card for dealing with Tyrant alone, that's fair, because you can just do neg 6, 12, 18. But then it also takes out a level 4 body, the Kabuterimon, because that's a 5k. Depending on like what you run in your deck, it can take, like for Vaccine, for example, Vaccine's already doing DP negging. So Vaccine comboed with Rapid X, comboed with Heaven's Judgment. Bro, Heaven's Judgment becomes, if you only have the Rapid X on board, it's still weaker than a Magna X, but at the same time, it's stronger than a Magna X, because that neg 4 is just across the board. You might bring things under the threshold. So a 10k body is now 6. 12k body, you'd still have to do 2 to it, but like, this just, I don't know, bro. I
think my other issue, and Leppy also kind of put me on, we need stronger options. And I like that idea because I'd like every deck to have a really strong option like that to fight back.
Yeah.
My thing with Heavens again though is DP minus as a mechanic is one of the most annoying, frustrating mechanics in the game.
Absolutely.
Because there aren't a lot of cards there aren't a lot of Digimon in the game, or a lot of cards in the game that can even deal with DP minus. So a lot of the cards that have protection right now, they still will all die to DP minus. The only cards that don't die to DP minus are cards that say can't be DP reduced. Like, that's it. And obviously, Magnamon X,
like 3 cards, and
Magnamon X can survive it
when it's on protection.
As long as it's not till the end of the turn. Like, it has to carry over to their turn, right?
Yep.
So like, every other card that has protection in this game, it does not. So like, there's so little. Like, I could think of, off the top of my head, Digimon cards, not option cards like grant, like whatever. It's like maybe like 5 off the top of my head or something. 4, like, it's not a lot.
Yeah, and it's Machine Dramon, it's Metal Greymon X, and it's Dual Greymon that's protected from neg DP.
Yep.
And I want to say that,
how many of those cards are meta relevant right now?
Cards 0. Like Breath of the Gods are cute, but when you start having DP negging that lasts until the end of your opponent's turn, well, Breath of the Gods mean absolutely nothing now.
And that's what Digimon does.
And
exactly.
What deck could really run Breath of the Gods right now?
Magnamon
X could run Breath of the Gods.
And what's the point of doing that when you're protected for your own self?
Answer. How fucking stupid is that? So I just genuinely hate DP minus as a mechanic. And
I'm with you there, bud.
Like, I just like, what? Like, it's such bullshit. And even worse, Magnamon X, the only way to even really deal with Magnamon X is Numemon, which deals with DP minus.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that, bro? Like, I don't know. Like, that
it's so aggravating.
22, baby. That's what that was.
So crazy, man. I don't know. Like, that is such a ridiculous, like, way to go about it, is that it's the only way to really out a Magna X is by its own color. Pretty much.
Yeah, so to say,
Like, that's so crazy. And not even the Mira. The Mira doesn't even deal with Magna X. Magna X Miras are literally fucking solitaire, where you just stare at each other until one of you can't get protection.
Well, so that's why I talked about this last pod with Dan, or was it the one before? One of those. I don't like this, like, build a Magna X and I'm now a wall and you can't deal with me deck. I hate that shit. That shit actually is like, I don't know why. Like, me as a player like a year ago would have probably loved that. Me as a player now, I fucking hate that. I don't like, that's why I don't want to touch Vaccine Armors, because that's what Vaccine Armors fucking feels like. I just want to play, like, I want a nice
you're a better player
mid-range
nowadays. That's why.
Facts, Stan.
I want a nice.
Barney 2 years ago would have been like, oh, a Royal Knight that's unaffected by everything? Oh yeah, I'm playing that. Like, bro, absolutely. And I'm gonna cut you fucking off right now. I said it in chat the other day. I would rather play against a Magna X solitaire match because at least it feels like I can kind of play the game. You know what doesn't feel good? When you get a Valk aced into a ruin mode. And then you can't play the game. I got stuck in raising for 3 or 4 turns the other day. And I just had to sit there and watch. Because like I have too much of an ego. I'm not fucking scooping. I want you to hit a mega death in security so that I can bounce your stupid fucking ruin mode or something, and then I get the memory back from the Valkyriemon Ace 2. Like, I'm not fucking scooping. Fuck you. But like, no.
Can we point out one thing? Why does man Mike act like he's like writing notes or something with his pen in his hand that he know for a goddamn fact that he's not doing anything with it? Seb just has it in his hand.
First of all, maybe I am writing notes. All right.
No, you're not. Shut up.
No, it's just ADHD, bro. I'm fucking. You know what I'm doing, bro? I'm scribbling on my desk like this, bro. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, dead. But anyways, hey, yo, that's a fun combo. I did that to someone before. I was like, oh,
no, it's not a fun combo.
And then, do you want to know how that ended for me? I was like, finally, the ruin mode ace is gonna die. I'm gonna it's okay. After it died, and I was like, all right, after this turn, it's just one more. You know what they did?
Did it to you again?
No, they grabbed the ruin mode back from fucking trash. I was like, this is insane.
But what?
Fucking it was purple base and
calling
they callings for the fucking ruin mode back, bro.
Yeah, that's wild.
And I was like, this is crazy, bro. Yeah, so that was 3 or 4 turns in a row.
You know what's crazy? Remember when people were like complaining about like ruin mode being an unfair card? I'm not saying it's not, but at the same time, like I'd rather deal with ruin mode than I'd rather deal with Heaven's Judgment.
Yeah, I'm with you. Oh, I'm with you for this part. You know what was worse about that game is that first of all, people that play Numamon are just scumbags. If you play Numamon, you're a bad person.
Remember when he was like, people like to play Numamon? That's why I call bullshit.
Bro, no. Because you guys are like, because I need to preface, I wasn't allowed to play the game for 3 or 4 turns. It's not that he couldn't kill me in any of those 3 or 4 turns. He just didn't. He had like 4 or 5 Digimon on the board. For every single one of those.
He was trying to set up, bro. He didn't want to die to your Giga Death insecurity.
He had like 3 Ukomon and he just wasn't swinging with them. He was just gaining 47 memory a turn.
Nobody swings with Ukomons, baby. Come on, bro.
Now. I was like, you could just kill me and end this. Please end my suffering. And no, he just like 3 turns. I was like, this is just fucked up, man. And I'm pretty sure once I finally got out of security, I got Valkyaced again.
Sounds about right.
I don't remember what I was saying, but
yeah, Mike distracted you.
It's a tough time out here. Moving on, not moving on really. This kind of like factors into like what we were already talking about. Going into BT, thinking about a ban list is really tough. It's always tough when it comes to Bandai, but it's especially tough now because Numamon technically isn't a deck. Like, if there's a deck that should be hit, it should actually be Mirage. Because according to Bandai, Mirage is too good for too long.
You don't think that Numamon's getting to that point now, buddy?
No, because technically speaking, right? That's a BT15 deck. Technically speaking, according to JP format, that's BT15, 16. I'm not going to count the EX sets. So BT15, 16, 17. We're about to head into 18. Mirage is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
For sure. Well, they played the BT11 Mirage. I guess they played the burst modes we were talking about.
Right, but the deck, like in terms of being
the deck became good because of the burst mode stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So technically speaking, Mirage is a deck that's too good for too long. Numamon isn't best deck in format, and I truly do believe Imperial is probably going to trade blows with Ancient Garurumon because of how fast Ancient Garurumon is and what it's capable of doing. But those three,
that's tough for me. I don't know. So because people didn't hop on that Ancient Garurumon sauce until like halfway into the BT7 format. Also, we don't have the Gabubon, and I think
that's a big thing too. I forgot about those,
and that was like a big thing for that ancient deck, right? I believe so. Yeah, the bond.
Okay,
and we don't have that.
Yep.
I think the Ancient Guru can still do things without it though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ancient Guru is just Mirage on legs. Like
no, I mean I agree, but that's definitely a big thing to consider as well. The absence of not just those.
Promo cards.
Forget about Gabubon.
The Flame Dramon's cracked.
Forget about Flame Dramon. It's the scrambles.
That too, yeah.
The scrambles are big too.
I forgot about the scrambles.
Every deck was playing like 2 scrambles. I feel like at minimum.
Yeah. So Numon best second format still until BT17. Case closed. The end. We have nothing to talk about.
Well, look, Imperial doesn't get hurt by not having any of those.
Yeah, I agree.
But also, I actually would prefer that Imperial just remains like really good in topping because I don't want cards for that deck to get hit.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, Mike. I was looking at Paladin Mode Ace and I was kind of like, maybe I'll build Imperial.
You see how quick that smile changed off my face?
Mike's like, don't touch my deck.
Yeah,
stay away.
I rejoice when people play the same deck as me. Like, I love talking about OmniZoo of Dan. I'm like, Dan, how can we break this deck this way? You touch my fucking dear child Imperial, it's fucking over for our friendship.
Your what?
His dear child.
My sweet.
I thought he said his
prince.
bear child. I was like, your what?
No, my sweet baby prince. Imperial, don't you dare get your little grubby hands all over that fucking.
Oh my god, that's so funny. The problem if you hit Numon right now is that Magna becomes dominant again.
They're not hitting Numon right now.
I don't think so either. But like if they were to like hit right now and they're like, yeah, we gotta murder this deck or some bullshit, right? Where they're like, let's go Monze or Numa X to 1 or something, and then Ukos to 1 each or some nonsense, right? The problem becomes Magna, and if they don't touch any other deck for that, Magna becomes a problem at that point, I think. So I don't think
not
again
Magna. It's because it's not Magna the deck. It's the combination of blue Magnamon and yellow Magnamon.
Yeah. But it's still a Magnamon at the end of the day, at top end wise at least. I mean, the way you get there is different. Yellow vaccine armors is different from regular Digimon armors, but like that becomes a problematic.
I want to touch on that.
Touch those.
Go ahead,
I'd like to time out. For anyone that doesn't think that blue Magna X and yellow vaccine Magna X are different decks, you're wrong. I just want to say that. Like I do not understand how people don't think that they're different decks, even though they're the same.
There's a reason one is called vaccine armors, and the other one is called what I call Magnamon armors.
Completely different game plans, and even once they establish the top end, even when they establish the top end, they play completely different. In my opinion,
I agree. Yeah,
like so. I just wanted to interject.
Like I said, vaccine armor is quite possibly like the ultimate control deck. Like it is the fucking wall. You put up the wall, you can't touch my wall. You don't go past my wall. My wall is impenetrable. Like that's what vaccine armor is.
Square.
No, don't touch me there. This is my no square. That's literally I shit you not. That's vaccine armors to a T.
Whoa! Petition to change vaccine armor to no square deck. Can we get this for the next poll? Should we change yellow vaccine to?
He don't lie though. He don't lie.
I only tell the truth.
Because Magnamon armors is like, I don't know. It's supposed to be like it. Armor Rush was funny because like it was Armor Rush in the beginning, and then they got Magnamons, and then they got Magna X. It is. It started out as a Rush deck. Then they got another Magnamon, or Magna X specifically, and then it became Armor Rush, but with a slight like defensive capability. Dan spoke about this in the past.
Yeah.
Then we got another Magnamon, and then it started morphing into Magnamon armors, and then we got starter deck Magnamon, and then the deck was literally Magnamon armors. And what is the deck right now? Magnamon armors featuring the wall, but it's not like, that's why I hate the way that it plays. It's not meant to be the wall. It's just meant to be like, I don't know, this weird, I don't know. It's so weird like how it's meant to be, but vaccine armors? Yeah, that's the no square deck. that's no squared, the deck. There we go, Mike. No squared.
No squared. I'd also like to make the case, if anything ever gets hit, I just want Ukomon's gone. I don't know if I really care. I mean, Heaven's Judgment, you can make the case.
You want Patamon hit.
I guess I also want Patamon hit. I don't know. My main thing is really Ukomon's. I really hate that fucking card.
You're gonna hate Patamon's too.
I have hated that fucking stupid tentacle monster fucking dickhead since he fucking came out in that promo set. I have hated that dumb motherfucker's face. Like, I hate that card. I hate the art. I hate the fucking. I hate that it's white.
Were you Kendrick? I hate the way you walk. I hate the way you talk.
I'm about to
I hate the way that you walk. I hate the way that you talk. Yeah, I hate the way that you look at me with those big beady ass eyes,
us, bro. They ain't like us, bro. They ain't like us, bro. He is not a tamer like us, bro. He fucking bro. Shit. First of all, that motherfucker, he was not Digidestined, bro. He wished his way to the top. He faked it. That man is Aubrey Graham in a fucking tamer. Anyways, bro.
Yo, this man said, I got fake abs injected into me, you know? I got a nose job.
Yeah, bro. Louis got a fucking eye job from Ukomon is what he fucking got, bro. And I would just like to fucking say, if anything needs to get hit, it's that dumb little fucking tentacle monster. That fucking little dumb fucking idiot is Ukomon.
That's that beady-eyed, beetle-looking, green-eyed looking stupid evil-looking mother effer.
Yeah, bro. This stupid little fucking whatever he's got going on there, the little stupid jury curl fucking thing that he's got fucking, you know what I'm saying? Fuck that little idiot, bro.
Yo, fucking, I can't.
Hate that fucking asshole.
This man really had a Kendrick moment.
So that's my petition for the ban list is pretty much Ukomon, I think.
Oh my god, that was too funny.
And yeah, we can include other cards. So I also want to say, I feel like every time I talk about what can get hit on a ban list, Bandai does the complete opposite and surprises me. They're like, oh, you wanted to hit this deck that you think won't ruin the deck, or hit this card that you think won't ruin the deck, but like slow it down. No, we're just gonna hit the super rare. We're gonna hit the uncommon that you didn't realize was like. We're just gonna hit this fucking card here so that it kills the deck completely. That's what Bandai does.
The only super rare they hit was an actual problematic super rare.
No, I'm with you.
The same with the secret.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying like every time I think Bandai, I'm like, oh, Bandai might hit this card. They never hit the card I think they're gonna hit. They just hit the card that destroys the deck. Except
on that note,
Mirage. Mirage has lived. I don't know if we've ever seen a deck live
as long as Mirage.
Like
no,
Mirage has.
We haven't.
Mirage lived through the ban. I guess
it's because it's not the best deck in the format.
I guess Shine Gray does pretty well, but I don't. But the hit that for Shine Gray, that wasn't even. It wasn't a Shine Gray hit. Yeah. It was a hit for Yellow Vaccine.
But Shine is also like irrelevant right now.
It gets better in BT17.
Like I said, though, it's irrelevant like right now at this very moment.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest thing there, right? Being realistic. Y'all know us here. We're realistic guys. When Bandai inevitably decides that they want to do a ban list, if they're going to hit Numemon, Numa X. Let's look at the trends. What are the problematic cards that are on the ban list? Gabumon X, Garurumon X.
To be fair, though, I really think they hit all those fucking purple cards in an effort to not try and hit Apocalypse, and they just were really skirting the issue.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Go.
No, I'm with you. Those
You're
cards
not wrong.
needed to go, but like instead of just nipping it in the bud right away,
the others that got hit, which was the Eismon, the Gabumons, yes.
Bro, Bandai was playing footsies all BT15, bro. They were like, well, maybe if we hit this guy, it'll slow
again,
down.
You're not wrong, but that was also a 3-headed format, so they didn't need to like hit Garurumon again because they had already hit not just the one, but like the 4 or 5 cards that got hit for
everything.
So 3X antibodies are currently 4X antibodies. 3X antibodies are currently on the list. So like history says Numa X's ass is gonna go.
Or Monza X.
I don't think so. I think it would be Numa X. I think they're going to hit that.
4X antibodies if we count
Dorgray.
No, we're not counting that.
We're not counting
that. No. So
means like X ain't by your name.
Yeah,
Greymon X was hit because of speed
Shut up, Michael.
and protection, so to say. Garurumon X, we already do I even need to talk about that? And then Gabumon X was hit because of not speed but protection. Numa X will be hit because it doesn't provide protection, but it provides recursion. But that recursion is what allows that deck to be resilient and fast. Numa X will get the hit. So the Bandai hit is Numa X. But in my opinion, and I agree with you, Mike, the right hit is Ukomon. And specifically Promo Ukomon. Because I fucking hate staring down Promo Uko and Raising, seeing a Promo Uko on board, and knowing that they'll gain 2 memory if I don't deal with that fucking Ukomon.
Who do we hate?
Promo Ukomon.
We hate that fucker.
I don't hate Ukomon, but I do dislike I like Ukomon.
No. And
I dislike Promo Ukomon.
Not to go off crazy here, but big Ukomon? Really?
As if we haven't.
Tentacle porn here, bro? Are you fucking kidding me, Bandai?
Like, have you seen the Hydrusy, sir?
Bro, I mean,
you want me to?
You're just unhinged, Mike. Like, bro, you didn't even have to go there. Why do you have to go there for?
That's another issue. I'm gonna be honest.
We're going to ignore Mike for now. But wrong Uko, sir. Wrong Uko.
You
think BT16?
Yep. 100%.
I disagree. I think the memory gaining off of Promo Ukomon and the 0 cost of Digivolve, bro. That is so aggravating to play against.
You guys think only one needs to go? I want both gone.
You said only one, you dirty fuck. Don't you?
Did I? No, I mean I want both gone, bro. I want both.
You missed a beautiful rant that I convinced Varney in BT15 of why Uko needs to stay and why Uko is not bad for the game, which I convinced Varney at the time that, you know, that Uko needed to stay. Clearly now that has changed because things has changed for him for whatever reason.
Reverse therapy on this one right now.
Yeah, because of it's because of you, Mike. You know, I was fixing Varney on understanding how card game works, and then you come back, Mike, and you just break him down, and you just like F everything, F it. That's what's happening right now.
I get the people going, bro. It's prerogative.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no,
Promo Uko, I don't think is that problematic. I really think it's more of the new one because that new card is what you've seen in every single deck. Like you mentioned earlier, right? In the yellow vaccine armors, I guarantee it was that Uko, right? That was
correct. Yes,
correct. So like that's the only thing that you see in every deck. That's like a minimum of 2 of it seems like. You see it in Tyrant. You see
here's
it
the
in
thing. Let me explain
one,
it.
obviously.
Digimon Emperor can fuck that Ukomon, but you can't fuck Promo Ukomon because the moment Promo Ukomon moves out under Digimon Emperor, you gain a memory. So even if you're at 1 memory, you move Promo Uko out, Digimon Emperor loses 2, but that Ukomon gains you a memory. So you still keep turn with that Promo Ukomon.
I don't think you should fuck either one.
That's what we're talking about. That's your argument. Is the Digimon Emperor the one card that stops things?
Yes. My entire argument about hitting Digimon Emperor, my entire argument about hitting that Ukomon is because of the memory gaining. Because the memory gaining is so annoying. I can deal with the search. I can especially deal with it costing 1. You're paying 1 to Digivolve on top of one of your precious eggs to get a search later on. Have at it, Chief. Compared to Digivolving for 0, moving up, gaining a memory. So now if I put you to 1, you raise that, you're going to 2. If you have 2 in play, you're going to 3. If you have a Tamer that gains a memory, if your opponent has a Digimon in play, you're going to 4. And I'm speaking about all of this with Numamon in mind. That's annoying. That, yes, my Digimon Emperor means nothing. It's like Patamon, right? If Patamon has a TK in play, what's it called? Any memory setter, I should say. Digimon Emperor means nothing. It basically keeps them at bay. But if they don't have the memory setter in play, they raise a Patamon. They're losing memory. They don't get start of main phase. Ukomon skirts that. Fuck promo Ukomon.
Anyway, so that new BT16 Uko, you talking about complaining about that. Numon goes first, right? You go into that. You basically you're basically starting to add 1, and you're not doing as much as you would in a normal Uko, where if you had that Uko, you're dropping Garymon. You're giving your opponent 3 guaranteed all times, and that's a totally different ball game.
You're giving your opponent
going to
3?
1. Exactly.
After you Digivolve an Ukomon and raise
You're gonna
that
give
the
them
next
3.
turn, get a new Digi-Egg, have more memory to work. I'm not hearing that.
Can I finish my point? How I let you finish your goddamn point?
You can finish your shitty point. Go ahead.
Your shitty point.
Finish your shitty point.
I convinced you back then how Uko was fine.
No, you ain't changing my mind. No. Go ahead. Finish your shitty point.
You changed your mind.
Finish your shitty point. Go ahead.
You start with the search for Uko, right? You go turn 0. You evo to that. You give your opponent only 1 memory, so they can't do as much as they normally would. It was basically if they're at turn 0 themselves, and then you come out raised, you gain a free search and consistency that you don't need, plus the egg. What are we talking about? And then you still pop off and do more stuff. Consistency is what broke the deck even more. There's no consistent searches. Now you have that Uko that's a consistent searcher for the deck that can grab a Tamer or a Digimon, and it doesn't matter what it is, and you grab any pieces you want. And now you're set up to do whatever you want because you can grab anything, literally. What are we talking about? And now I could go that turn. Now I could pop off you more because I got the piece I needed so badly. Before maybe I wouldn't have been able to because I didn't get that search, right? And now I got that search. Let's say I got that piece that I definitely needed, and now I popped the F off because I just got that 1 search off. That's more important to that deck than the memory game, because you gain memory in other ways with no problem. You know how many decks are running in the mat? That's the starter deck mat. Cool, I'll just trash a card, gain a memory. I'm at 3 regardless, doesn't matter. Gain a memory off of that, continue popping off with Garymon or whatever it is. Like, the memory is not as problematic as you think it is. It's the search and the consistency that's added to it.
I can absolutely guarantee you, in my matches that I've played with Magnumon against Numemon, memory is the problem and consistency is not the issue.
Counterpoint.
I can guarantee it's a reverse for me.
Fuck both those cards.
I'm not going to argue that point. You know, that's probably going to be the poll question. Which Ukomon do you guys despise more? Do you despise them both equally, and why? For me personally,
and BT15 wasn't as dominant with 1 Uko. It became dominant now with both Ukos.
Yeah, that's why we should hit both.
You're looking at me sideways when Mirage has more W's than Numemon technically, and has I believe more tops.
Like overall?
Yeah, I believe it has more tops.
That's not fair. That deck's been around for like 10,000 years.
Not only is that not fair, you're also talking about, okay, Ukomons are one thing. Did we forget about Adamon and Valkyrymon?
Sure.
So let me paint the picture for you, and let me tell you why.
You gain the consistency of it. Let me tell you more consistency of it.
Let me paint a game for y'all. And this is how we're gonna end podcasts because we're at an hour 37. let me paint the game for y'all. Numemon, turn 0. Digivolve, promo Ukomon, drop Garymon, trash card, draw 2. I'm at 3 memory. I hatch, Digivolve a Vmon, maybe I play a Davis, drop myself a Vmon, get a search, and then I Digivolve into a Magnumon. And I have now put my opponent to 3. Well, Varney, you fucked up. You should have memory choked. Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, let's rewind. Maybe I drop a mental training and I drop a Tamer. Maybe I drop a Digimon and something else. Maybe I put them to 2 memory instead of 3. It doesn't matter because either way, they've raised that promo Ukomon. They're going to 3 or 4 memory. That Garymon that's on the field can now freely Digivolve into a Monze X, and then whatever else comes afterwards. And then, did I forget? I did forget. The Ukomon has just
out of the starter deck Magna. You just stop their whole play. If you have Uko just on board and you stop the Garymon play, that you're now going to a Numa X into a Monzimon. Now they got a hard play again and waste more memory.
Since we're talking about everything in an ideal world here, let's paint the ideal world.
My fault. I forgot. Anytime I played against anybody that runs Magnamon, they have Magnamon in their hand consistently. My fault. I forgot. My bad. Go ahead.
Garemon, Monze X. You're looking at Ukomon and Raising, Ukomon on field, or maybe you're looking at another Garemon. I don't know. It doesn't matter what I'm looking at. Let's just say for whatever fuck reason that they drop another Numamon, right? And then they're just like, how do I want to end turn? You know what? I just deleted your Magnamon that's on board. Well, 2, 4, 6. Oh, I didn't delete it? That's fine. I'll Digivolve into Edamon. -3, force that to attack, but it doesn't attack. Okay, or maybe they don't DP neg you with enough of the DP neg, and they just drop the Edamon and whatever, force you to attack. Now you come up and they do a Valk and they clear your board because of the -5. Okay, cool. I can't play anything. I can't Digivolve into a Magnamon because all my VMons are less than 5k. So that point's moot and gone. But okay, let's look past that, right? Let's go back to my original point that I was trying to make. You put your opponent to 2 memory. They raise that Ukomon, they go to 3. That Garemon that they put on the field turn 1 is now able to freely Digivolve all the way up. Numa X if they have it, Monze, and then Monze X. They now have another Ukomon chilling back there and raising with the Ukomon that's already on board, as well as a Monze or a Monze X staring you down, and probably another body on board from that Monze X. It is now their turn too, and they have 4 bodies on board because they had enough memory to do that. So unless you have the immediate Dexmon to answer with, unless you have the starter deck Magnamon to answer with, what you doing? Oh, I'm just gonna raise, I don't have it, so I'm just gonna Digivolve into BT8 Magna, then I'm going to go into Magna X. Oh, that's all fine and dandy, sir, because you didn't deal with my board. Now I'm just going to start building up again. I'm going to DP neg your shit into oblivion so that next turn when it's unaffected, it dies. Like, there's just, I don't understand where your thought logic is. Probably because you don't play against the Numamon as much, so you don't have it happen to you as much as I have it happen to me. I
play the mirror match quite often.
I find one cost to Digivolve past turn to me at 1 far better than you going promo and raising and allowing you to gain a memory and hatch an egg with having a Digimon on board. Like, looking at the Agumon, the start of main, that's like saying, like, so you drop or you Digivolve that Agumon, the start of main, you gain a memory, and then you drop that Garemon, right? And then next turn, you know, they pull that out, but now they can Digivolve that Agumon, but they don't get to hatch. So that shit doesn't feel as bad. It's not like they're building up immediately. Sure, if you put them to 2 memory, they go to 3, but it's not like they can build up something else in the back. It's not like there's something else in the back that you're looking, you're staring at, and you're like, fuck. Like, something else is coming out to smack me up next turn. So as long as I can deal with these 2 bodies here, I'm good. Like, I don't get the argument behind... I may be with Mike here. I may say hit both Ukomons, but if I hated an Ukomon more, promo Ukomon.
So, I think that both of you are right. And if I'm being honest, and both of you are right for different reasons, I do genuinely think both of the cards are an issue. And the issue is that decks that can afford to run both is a bigger problem. Because not every deck can run both. And I'd also like to remember, like, BT15, which I know we're not in that form anymore. Ukomon was a problem in BT15 when everyone was just slamming 4 of the promo into those decks.
Wait, it wasn't.
People did not like that.
It was literally 2 decks.
People did not like that card back then either, bro.
I know, but it was only 2 decks that made it relevant, which is Red Hybrid Numamon. Everything else were bum ass decks that had to run it because there was nothing else that could. Magnamon, my fault. Magnamon became relevant like the second half. Mm-hmm. But like those were the only 3 decks that made Uko relevant. Uko was only played in other jank ass decks because that's all they needed, that card to be played. Like that was the only reason needed, even before, because when we had the conversation about the Uko back then, it was pre-Magda being like a deck that was popping up like once or twice in the regional, right? And I was like, yo, the only decks that's relevant is Numamon. And like without Uko, Numamon would still have been a top dog regardless. That was the whole point. And then Red Hybrid was still Red Hybrid without Ukomon. So that's the same thing. But now because we have the Searcher plus other nonsense, that's a Searcher, it gave it that consistency that it needed. That's way better than that one that memory gain, because you have other ways to gain memory as well.
I know. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with everyone here. I think both are an actual issue when they're combined together. So I don't know if it's a choice you stick to not have both in the same deck. I don't know if it's you limit them both to one. I'm not sure. I think
a choice restriction would be fine.
I
agree.
Think it's both are an issue, and again, I'm not a card designer, bro, so it's hard because again, a lot of decks need to run those cards right now to be relevant in the meta. So I don't know what hitting those makes our meta look like. I also don't know what else they have to hit, if they have to hit a Davison Ken afterwards, if they have to hit Heaven's Judgment, if they have to, you know what I mean? Like they're going to have to do serious thinking if we do get a ban list. And I don't even think we're going to get a ban list till after EX6 personally. Like we might not
even know when we're going to get one.
We might not even get a ban list till BT17 if I'm being
I'll be honest, I don't even think we're ban list. What's a ban list? Bro, I feel like that's like the farthest thing from Bandai's mind right now.
Like
they hit APOC, they were like, I'm scared to touch anything else.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't.
But I also don't think they need to.
We might not get one,
arguably,
for a while. Like maybe end of BT17, we might get a ban list. I don't know. Like, because this format's so short, I don't think they hit anything. No fucking shot they hit anything this format.
It's a mute point right now.
Yeah.
BT18 reveals are almost finished because they're doing alternate arts. That means BT18 is dropping for them by like the end of the month. So BT17
and here's the thing, in BT and in Japan format, it's still like from what I understand, like East, I haven't heard him complain about decks or anything like. You know what I mean? Like usually,
Numon's still a top dog.
You know what he actually said? He actually said people would sing the praises of Magnamon X. I feel like he said something akin to that. He was like, "Y'all hating on Magna now? It's not that bad. Trust me." I feel like he said something along those lines.
Yeah, he said it wasn't that bad. The problem was Ancient Guru doing the shenanigans Ancient Guru can do.
Yeah,
and like that's what I mean. Like I don't know. Like JP, I feel like is actually in a healthy format right now. All things considered, like, so I don't really know what they're gonna do about any of this. Like, this is such a short format, and I know people are mad right now, and like I'm complaining, and I've spent a lot of pod complaining. We've all said things, whatever. They're not hitting shit right now, obviously.
No,
and I don't think they hit shit in the X6. I don't know when they're gonna hit anything. I don't know if they have to hit anything, but Numamon is weirdly a problem here, and it wasn't a problem anywhere else. It was just a tier 1 deck everywhere else.
When did their BT16 coincide with the release of the movie? I want to say it did, right?
Yes.
So did they get the movie promos at the same time?
Yes. Question mark. It was somewhere around the time.
I don't know if they had
around the same time.
First.
They definitely didn't have it in 15. So like, I think that's like another thing why Numamon was good in 15 for us, because they had access to those Ukomons.
Give me 1 second.
So I want to say they did have the Ukomons in 16, so that would have meant that they would have had everything all at the same time, as well as the ban list. And obviously in 16,
they had Ukomon in BT15.
Did they? Okay.
Yes. Looking at lists now, they had
APOC was just APOC.
Yes.
Okay.
But then you had the one madman that was like, I'm gonna beat APOC.
I remember that. Yep.
That's kind of started it, but I don't think people were a believer of the Numon as a deck at that point.
No, I wasn't. I remember you saying that, and I was like,
I was with Dan too. About
decks got hit, and then the JP Nats was a mirror match at the finals, and it was like, I think it was like 3 out of the top 4 was Numon. I don't remember fully.
Something like that.
Something like that. And then like even then, I don't think people were still fully believing, but they were like catching on that, oh, Numon is a really, really good deck.
Yeah. Well,
and then we saw like later on it became what it is.
Well, even us in BT15, we had a weird BT15 format because APOC was hit and we didn't know, no one knew what the fuck was going to be good.
Yeah.
So
right.
I mean, like think about how hard Leviathan as a deck fell off completely. As like there was a point in the beginning of BT15 where everyone was like, it's the best deck in the format. It's like blah blah blah. Like,
remember when we got shit on for that take too? Bro, that was funny.
That deck fell off so hard by the end of BT15. It was crazy. It's like so weird to think about.
It had a small resurgence at the end.
Well, because it was
very small.
It's not like it got worse by any means, you know. I don't.
It was just
people were like, "Oh shit, we can play other decks this format." But like I remember,
it was a wide variety of decks. It wasn't like there wasn't like just like 2 decks or something like that. It was a nice variety.
By the end of BT15, I think it's the healthiest meta this game has ever seen, in my opinion.
You know, we said it when 15 format ended that people are going to look back and they're going to miss 15 format, and I feel like 100%. People are already like they're complaining about 16, and I feel like they're looking back slowly and they're like, damn, I missed that. I can't wait for like maybe like 6 months from now to really see like where this game is at, both for us and for JP. You know, in 6 months time, we're almost going to be unified. We'll be maybe like 3 months away from unification. But we will be in the midst of RSB 2.0 or no, 2.5 maybe, or I think we're going to be sitting in the interim period of that. And
yeah, somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah, so like
the hybrid shit, like
yeah, I don't know.
East Meta Report, his takeaway, big takeaway, number 1 takeaway: speed is king. And hybrids, fast. They were fast in 7. They're about to be fast again in 18. Ancient Garurumon's already fast, and that's like
gets better.
Yeah, exactly. It just gets better. So like, speed is king. How fast is the game about to become? And what other cards? Like, this is probably the topic for next podcast. Like, looking forward to BT18, the cards that come out, and like how those metas develop. But what gets hit to slow the game down? Protection effects are not the issue. Funny as you guys would think, Magna X, I said it, it's not, it really truly is not an issue. Bro, decks that abuse getting into it, like vaccine armors, can be an issue, but speed is king.
Well, that's why I said, like, bro, I would rather I'll play a solitaire match sometimes, because at least I can play the game, than get rushed down by Numemon and then get locked into a ruin mode board.
Yeah.
Like that, like, well, like there's other like Imperial, don't get me wrong, Imperial's also an issue at that point when if you hit something, because Imperial's fast too.
Yes.
Like, and I love Imperial, so I'm very biased on my opinions on it and takes, obviously. So I don't want to say that like I'd want the deck to get hit. Like I would be fucking crushed. But like, I don't know. Like if they hit decks, they have to really look at the entire meta and think of what could be an issue afterwards. You made a point about looking back on former formats, right? And thinking of how good we had it. And I always think about World of Warcraft in that essence. Like, so World of Warcraft, I remember when Cataclysm first came out in World of Warcraft. It was right after like Wrath of the Lich King, which is like the best expansion ever in my opinion. And when Cataclysm happened, everyone was like, this is going to kill World of Warcraft. This is the end of the game, blah, 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 blah. When people look back at Cata now that played through all those other expansions, Cata is like a well-regarded expansion now. Like people look back and they're like, no, that was like the last good expansion we really had. And like, I don't like I think about stuff like that and I'm like, damn, you don't know how good you have something until it's gone, bro. That's 100%. What I'll say. Like, you don't know how good it is until it's not there anymore.
Absolutely. And with that note, we are going to call it a day for today's episode. I think those are some nice parting words, and I also don't want to hear Mike say,
wrap it before you tap it, baby.
And that is it for today's episode of DigiPod, the digital podcast. Thank you guys for listening. As always, we love you guys. And until we talk to you guys the next time, peace out.
Peace.
Catch y'all on the next one.